Hey, listen, we had a phenomenal yoga class this morning, and one of my favorite questions came up. Like, is yoga more about flexibility or is it more about strength? And I'm here to just tell you that there are so many lies out there in the yoga industry that yoga is all about flexibility, that you have to be flexible. You got to be able to get your foot somewhere and your arm somewhere else. And it's like this game of twister. And like the more flexible you are, the better you must be at yoga. And unfortunately, the more flexible you are, the more that you're probably ripping and tearing your muscles out of their joints. Not a good deal. Now, I'm a super flexy person. I can take things extremely deep. And what I've learned is that what we need to do, instead of just taking postures really deep, is actually draw in and build muscle and start increasing the strength at the same time increasing the flexibility so we get agility. This is how we start to be able to move in our lives and be able to pick up things. You can tell I'm a very small girl. I'm a super flexible girl, but it's not about the flexibility. It's about how much strength can I have while engaging in flexion in our bodies. So here's the deal. An example would be, just go ahead and take your arm forward and reach your arm out of socket. And you can see my arm's just pulling right out of socket. Now, we all know if you keep reaching it out of socket, it's going to come out of socket, right? That's how we get shoulder dislocation and so forth. Now, take your arm and hug it back in. And feel the difference. Reach it out. And imagine you were holding something heavy, what that would be doing to your back. Or draw your arm in. And how you can build strength there. So if you're lifting weights, instead of here, right, with the shoulders curling forward, draw it back in. And lift. So that's one example. There's so many other examples. Another one would be, how about like a long lunge? So if we got into a really long lunge, like this, how like just deep can you go and just kind of releasing down, and instead of that, draw it all in, and you can just watch my body draw up, square this hip forward, and then go deep. Instead of just kind of pouncing down and just kind of going like this dancey-like yoga practice, which I did for about 14 years before I discovered, if I'm flexible and I draw in strength, then that's when I get really full of agility in my body. And I'm no longer tearing and ripping muscles in my body anymore. And unfortunately, the number one quote-unquote sport that is finding the most amount of injuries and showing up in the doctor's office for last year was yoga. This is pathetic, you guys. And it's all due to over-flexing the soft tissues in the body. So draw strength in your practice, then reach out for flexibility. Thanks for listening. Signing off, Rachel Elise from Blue Moon Elise.